Good morning, everybody. I just have some really brief comments and then I'll take your questions. Yesterday, July 5th, was the kickoff of the uh, effort that we've entered into with the Phoenix Police Department and other federal agencies to crack down on gun crime. I went out to one of the precincts to attend one of the meetings with Phoenix PD as well as my own staff that we've designated for that task, and the system that we've put in place is up and running, and so the cooperation will be there to make sure that we can take some very dangerous people off the streets. The other thing is, as you know, it was one of my priorities to reduce the number of unreviewed officer-involved shootings. We will have updated numbers for you on Friday so that you can see that we have taken yet another significant percentage of cases out so that they have been reviewed. With that, I'll just answer your questions. Yes, sir.
DPS arrested 8 or 9 people at a Roe v. Wade protest.
Mhm.
The judge dropped them, and you're not pressing charges. What's the reasoning behind not pressing any charges?
So there were about 9 cases, and I believe there were 4 where the judge did not find probable cause. That goes back to needing some more specifics on those individuals, if there are any. And so DPS has taken those back and they're doing further investigation. As you know, there are a lot of body-worn camera, there's a lot of body-worn camera footage to review, et cetera. So DPS is still ongoing with their investigation.
On the
Joe.
case of a Higley High School teacher, Aaron Dunton, who was arrested by Gilbert PD for an inappropriate relationship with a student, do you have an update on where that case stands, and are you able to confirm or not whether there may be more victims identified besides the initial 2?
We furthered that back to the investigating agency for additional information. I don't want to go into too many details because obviously that's an ongoing investigation, but the case is still active, the investigation is still active, and we are working with the police agency on that.
Can you give a general idea of where the office stands on catching up on felony cases and misdemeanor cases?
Mm-hmm. I'd have to get the numbers for you on that, so I don't want to, give you anything that might not be accurate. What I can tell you is that we're making a lot of effort to address that. One of the issues that we had were cases that were reviewed and not put into the system. We have met with the Superior Court clerk, Jeff Fine, and he has been very cooperative in shifting resources so that we can put more into the system. We've also met with the head of the Office of Public Defender Services, Rosemarie Pena Lynch, because obviously we need all the players to have the personnel to handle those. And we've made great strides in reducing those numbers. We're also continuing with the recruitment campaign to make sure that we can reduce the other unfiled and unreviewed cases. Obviously, I'd love to do that right away, but I need prosecutors on the other side to prosecute those cases before I can just start filing and dumping cases into the system.
And is part of the campaign to hire more personnel
Mhm.
related to salary? We've seen other agencies appealing to the city councils or legislators to raise salaries of law enforcement. Has that been an effort here, and where would it stand?
I think that's part of the reason, the salary issue. And as you know, when I was sworn in as county attorney, the Board of Supervisors on that same date approved a substantial market adjustment for attorneys in this office, and that has played a role. We also are looking at some pay for performance increases as well. Government, of course, can never keep up with the private sector in terms of salary, but we do have some benefits here, as well as just the opportunity to serve your community. And so that is one of the things that we're focusing on with our recruitment campaign, which has a theme of basically making a difference while making a living and working with people who have been victims of horrible crimes. We're also offering additional incentives to people who are coming from out of state We're going to be reimbursing people for moving expenses. And included in those moving expenses are the costs that they will bear of moving their license here. Because that's expensive, and especially for people who are younger attorneys who have a mountain of law school debt. And in exchange for reimbursing them their moving expenses, we're requiring them to be to give us so many years, or they have to repay those costs in full. So we're offering additional incentives beyond the just simply the salary itself.
Have you recruited, have you landed anybody through that, and what specific states does this apply to?
We're looking at states that have, number one, reciprocity with Arizona, so that they can move their licenses here. We're also looking at just basic demographics of what states tend to have people who move to Arizona. And so while I can give you some stats that are really encouraging, we looked at a period of January through February where we had 22 new hires. So this is, of course, before the recruitment program. And May and June, we had 41 new hires. So that's almost doubled. That's across all positions, but as you know, we were down pretty much 20% across the board in every position. So that's incredibly encouraging to me. And so we have definitely gotten some interest from out of state. We've had some really good statistics in terms of people who are clicking onto our website and taking an interest in our office.
Given what Joe was talking about, the thousands of dollars in bonuses for police recruits at different agencies throughout the valley, do you feel pressure from that to fill these jobs here so that when those police officers go out and do their jobs, there's somebody here to prosecute the case they investigate?
Absolutely. You have to have a prosecutor that can successfully review that case, charge it if appropriate, and obtain a conviction. And so we need to keep up with that. Being 20% down is significant for our office, and so that's why it's been such a top priority for me.
And if you've already articulated your position on this, excuse me for asking again, do you have a position about medications or pills taken by women to terminate a pregnancy after they believe they may have become pregnant?
Do I have a
How
position?
that relates to the new abortion law in Arizona?
I would have to look at any particular case that came into me. Obviously, my position is that my interest is in enforcing the law, and that law should be set by the legislature. So I'd have to look at a specific case before I could answer that. And, I don't like to opine about what that might look like. Any other questions? Okay.